Your book, the Urnabhi, am I pronouncing it correctly? Urnabhi.
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 Yes.
Urnabhi is, it's kind of a book series, really.
Yes, it is a book series, and here I have both of
Yes,
them.
please do show us the cover, the book. Yeah,
This is book one, and this is
yeah.
book two. This was published a few years earlier, and this is the one which is being published in April
Recently, right.
recently. Yeah.
This is you. This was, I mean, you developed it or you're developing it as a book series. So, can you tell us more about how you conceived of it? Did you plan it as a book series, or it just happened that you had so much material, so you just thought, okay, let me, how did that work out? How did you come up with that one?
Well, Pujita, when I wrote this book, in the first place, I was not even very certain about whether it's going to get published or not, because, I mean, you read my bio, so I was here on a couple of years sabbatical with my husband. I wrote the
Right.
book. I didn't know any publishers, and there's an interesting story about how Rolly Books and I actually found each other without
Hmm.
ever meeting, because
Hmm.
through somebody on Facebook, we found each other, and the book was published.
Oh.
So that's quite a story of serendipity, and
Hmm.
lucky for me, and it worked out really well for me. So I was not very certain of what the response would be,
Hmm.
because you see, this kind of historical fiction,
Hmm.
nobody writes this,
Hmm.
because this is an amalgamation of a very great degree of serious research.
Hmm.
Because I would, whatever I write in this book, I can back up with evidence. The
Evidence.
historical part. Remember, this is historical fiction. So the historical part is almost like a history book. So was there space for serious historical fiction? That was the question I was asking myself. Because in earlier years, when I had had the idea of writing this and I went to some other publishers, the response was very, offhand. Who wants to read about Chandragupta Maurya? Please write about something
Correct.
topical. This was about 10, 15 years ago. So it was a gamble for
Hmm.
me, and it was a gamble for Holy Books. But the response was phenomenal for this very. I've tried to make it as interesting as possible, but it is not frivolous fiction.
Hmm.
It is serious fiction. So my idea was always to keep writing about the Mauryans. Two
Hmm.
of them have already been written, and I'm writing the third one, which is called The Waters of the Mauryans.
What is
My
it called again? The third one?
The waters of the Mauryans. The Mauryans are called as a hydraulic civilization. Their
Okay.
entire existence and their entire prosperity depended on water.
Hmm.
How did they control water for irrigation, for
Hmm.
daily use, etc.? There was a
Hmm.
very big administrative tantra behind it. So in the next book, I'm going to explore the importance of water. And another story about the Mauryans is that there was a 12-year drought. Because of this 12-year drought, Chandragupta Maurya, his mind was completely taken off material things and sovereignty and rulership, and he gave up everything and became a Jain monk.
Hmm. Yeah.
The Mauryan Empire has passed through the water stress test.
Hmm.
I am not going to write about that drought in this book three, but as the series goes on and I maybe move on to the later kings, probably I will not, because I am no admirer of Ashok.
Hmm.
My series will continue only with the Chandragupta Maurya. But yes, in my mind, it was always a series.
Hmm.
In my mind, I have, I love reading series. I feel you build up a world and then you populate that world, and then everyone wants to know what's going on with the people in that world.
Correct. Correct. It's
So
kind
you
of like
write
a
story and all that.
historical Malgudi days.
Yes, why not? I mean, that's a wonderful company to be in. I cannot
Yes.
aspire to be like that, but yes, that's the idea.
Right.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.